Secretary, State Department of Higher Education and Research, represented by Dr. Ward. Keynote speaker, Kenya East Council Chairman, Professor Emmanuel Mutisia, Chairpersons of Councils and Board of State Corporations and Private Sector, representatives from the Korea Advisory, the Vice President of International Office, who is also the Kenya East Establishment Project Manager, Professor So-Young Kim, and also Professor Pong Seong, the Chief Advisor to Kenya East Project, Vice Chancellors present, Deputy Vice Chancellors, and Chief Executives of Officers, esteemed panelists and discussants, esteemed students from various universities. My name is Professor Hamasi, the Acting Principal, Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, your host today. And mine is a humble task of welcoming you all to Kenya East, to Coastal Technopolis, and to this consultative forum. Our theme today is advancing the frontiers of science, technology, and innovation through training and knowledge production for Kenya's modernization. When someone tells you something, in most cases, the telling is a one-way communication. But when someone approaches you for a consultation, that is a call to dialogue. And in most cases, you get to a conversation which becomes beneficial to the parties that are engaged in that conversation. We have invited you today to a consultative forum. We are here to revisit a conversation on advancing the frontiers of science, technology, and innovation through training and knowledge production for Kenya's modernization. But why are we revisiting? Why am I saying we are revisiting? It's a revisit because Kenya's journey to industrialization started immediately after independence. We gained political independence in 1963 and articulated in the session paper number 1 of 1965, articulated that journey towards industrialization. We might have lost our way, we might have taken detours to unknown destinations, and we are therefore still struggling to get back to the right path. And the question should be, what went wrong? Why are we talking industrialization and modernization 60 years plus since independence? Why aren't we there yet? As a student of history, we also need to ask ourselves, how did we get ourselves to this current situation? What have we been doing all those years? As a student of history, I find Kenya very rich with ideas for Kenya and by Kenyans on how to industrialize and modernize. The 1970s is a very important decade for us to reflect on as we start the day, because we have representatives from Kaist in this consultative forum, and Kaist's success story dates back in the early 1970s when they started Korea Institute of Technology. I can comfortably say that Kenya was playing in the same league with the Republic of Korea in the 1970s. In that early 1970s, we're in the same league. When the Republic of Korea was starting Korea Institute of Technology, Kenyans were very busy building institutes of technology in the 8 provinces that we had. That is the decade when we started Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology. That is the decade we started Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology. That is the decade we started Kimathi Institute of Technology. All the regions in Kenya were very busy starting institutes of technology. They did a lot of harambes. So the idea was to begin the journey towards industrialization and modernization of a young Kenya that had just gotten its independence. And that also was the agenda across the globe. It was a global trend to start institutes of technology. And that is why Korea was already on that path. Yes, we are almost at par. We were almost at par with the Republic of Korea and almost had similar focus as to where, as a nation, we should be focusing on in terms of educational planning, research, and development. But in that process, we might have missed a certain ingredient, and therefore, the outcome of our planning is and was different. The Republic of Korea invested on what the Korea Institute of Technology invested in the Institute of Technology, which transformed to Kaist and is presented here today. As we will hear later, Kaist is rated among one of the best universities in the world and also the most innovative. It has contributed to the industrialization and modernization of Korea, of the Republic of Korea. As I conclude my welcome remarks, I invite us all to focus on the many development plans we have read and also have heard about as Kenyans. We have had many scholars and development agencies who have studied Kenya, advised Kenya, and most of them have even been referred to as Kenyanists. They have become experts by studying us, experts on Kenya. But we need to ask ourselves, experts on what? The good news is that in 2014-2015, a feasibility study was conducted and stakeholder forums initiated, and the whole process informed the establishment of Kaist, your host today. Those who carried out that feasibility study and consultatively facilitated the conceptualization, the design, and now the construction of what you're seeing within the horizon there, are here with us today and are part of this conversation on what it is we must do as Kenya and as Kenyaized to ensure that we stay on course and not detour to another phase of dead ends in the name of advancing the frontiers of science, technology, innovation through training and knowledge production for Kenya's modernization. As we start our consultations today, Kenyaized heart is very expectant because the baby that is Kenyaized is about to start walking, and soon we are going to be sprinting. Unlike before, Kenya should not fumble. The establishment of Kenyaized was aimed at meeting the shortage of highly qualified engineers and scientists needed in this country. And for me, it's once more to welcome you to this consultative forum. Karibuni sana.
Thank you very much, Professor Masi. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, stand on existing protocols. I would first like to acknowledge the presence of the chief guest, who is representing the CS, Engineer Tanois, or PS of ICT and digital economy. We're also privileged to have the PS of the Ministry of Higher Education and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology and Development, Professor Tagwira of the government of Zambia. The government of Zimbabwe. We are excited to have you here. Dr. Waro is representing the PS of the Ministry of Education. Our colleagues from Korea, Kaist, led by Professor SYK and the team, our colleagues from IVI, members of the Council of the Kenyaized. We have senior, university leadership from various universities here represented today. Private sector, government officials from the national government and also from the county government. And also I must acknowledge the presence of the African Development Bank, who are our partners in this event and in many other activities that we are running. We are excited to have you in this knowledge event today. This event has been organized to share experiences and best practices, lessons learned to help come up with pathways to expand the role of training, research, and knowledge management in driving industrialization and modernization of our country and our region. I acknowledge that the presence of all the partners who are ready to work and walk this journey with us in ensuring that you train the best, develop the best human capital that will take us to the next level in terms of development. It is through this deep understanding of our collective responsibility that we can empower the future generations to be the architects of the national renaissance and an integrated society. We are aware that science and technology has taken an important place and role in our lives today. It holds key to the progress and development of any nation, as this is a fundamental sort of space in wealth creation, real economic growth, and transformation and improvement of the quality of life of any society. Over the past 200 years, we have seen the space or the speed of technological development, has skyrocketed. We have moved from the first industrial revolution, which introduced the manufacturing processes, to the fourth industrial revolution that we are in today, where we are talking about generative artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, Internet of Things, among other innovations, which have disrupted our lives in ways no one thought would ever happen in our lifetime. Along this line, the evolution of science and technology has made it possible to achieve a lot in less time. It has created tools and machines used to solve serious problems that we face as a community and a society today. We can achieve more tasks today while saving our time, and hence we're in a better place than our previous generation. And we must take this advantage to create a better future for the coming generations. I mention these things because I think we face unlimited possibilities with technological advancements, but this has also made people more curious in finding answers to anticipated problems of the future. As Enrique Rohrer once said, science means constantly walking a tightrope between a blind faith and curiosity, between expertise and creativity, between bias and openness, between ambition and passion, and between arrogance and conviction. It is this focus that we come in here to sort of create a pathway for the betweens, today between the old and the new, between the current generation and future generations, to address both supply and the demand components of the digital space. We are working as the Kaist to develop government-led regional policy coordination and multi-stakeholder partnerships. In this case, the next generation of scientists will have to do research and create innovative solutions to the problems that we face in a fast-changing society, and must be bold enough and daring when doing so. Why? Because they are the future of the current generation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the plan, and this is the goal of the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, or the Kaist, which is over there. The structures and facilities that we see on this side are what we call the university that is coming up, the Kaist, which is the Africa's premier institution of science, technology, innovation, and research. We want to play that role to position Kenya as an innovation center, a center of excellence to drive research and innovation that will in place drive the development of not only our country, but also the region, the continent, and the world. This university has been designed to serve as an institution of strategic national importance, with the goal of industrializing and modernizing Kenya, and a vehicle to drive our country's national knowledge and digital economic transformation. The Kaist therefore aims at becoming a regional value addition institution, creating academic and technological and economic value in the era of the fourth industrial revolution. As a postgraduate-only university, it will build a critical mass of scientists and engineers who will drive research and development in critical areas and critical sectors of development, including artificial intelligence, semiconductors, robotics, biotechnology, among others. At Kaist, therefore, we endeavor to harness Kenya's full potential through training scholars, scientists and engineers, as well as commercializing innovations and growing enterprises, creating decent jobs in line with the national bottom-up economic transformation agenda. This will, among other things, help address the citizens' demand that we have seen over the last several weeks, and turn Kenya's youth bulge into demographic dividend through enterprise development and employment. We plan to do this in collaboration with all stakeholders, with deliberate partnership with the industry through industrial academic collaborations to commercialize our innovations and grow Kenya's and the regional industrial base. In essence, Kaist will boost our country's manufacturing sector by moving our domestic industries to knowledge-based, innovation-led economic orientation. And now, as my principal has done, I'll take this opportunity before I sit down to invite the next speaker, Professor Kago Lee, who is here as the advisor of the International Vaccine Institute, which is headquartered in Korea, and whom we are partners in a partnership that was concluded or signed in June 4th of this year and an exchange ceremony that was attended by the President of Kenya. Welcome, Professor Lee.
First of all, the International Vaccine Institute, Kenya Kaist, and Kaist signed MOU in June of this year. This MOU is designed to strengthen the exchange of knowledge and collaboration among IBI and the two countries in the field of research and education. By combining our scientific and technological expertise, we aim to address the various challenges we face together. Through this collaboration, we will generate better scientific outcomes and innovations that will contribute to solving not only Kenya's challenge, but also global health challenges. Secondly, IBI is preparing to establish its office in Kenya within a year. To this end, IBI is accelerating the advancing vaccine end-to-end capabilities, that is AVEC project. IBI will work tirelessly to enhance Africa's vaccine production and research capabilities. Firstly, IBI has long-standing relationship with stakeholders in Kenya. For example, IBI conducted one-site training and consultation in 2023 for Vivovax and Kemni. With this spirit of togetherness, I believe we will achieve great success. Thank you very much.
My name is Soyoung Kim, but better known as SYK. I am the Vice President of International Office of Kaist. I am honored and delighted to give a few remarks on behalf of Kaist. Kaist is one and the only institution around the world with the history, tradition, and culture of making direct contributions to national development with the scientific knowledge and technological innovations. At major crossroads of South Korea's remarkable growth trajectory, including industrialization of the 1970s, 80s, and informatization/digitalization of more recent years, Kaist was at the center of major innovations driving those waves of change. By the way, Kenya is technically a lower middle-income country according to the World Bank classification, so the middle-income track also applies to this country as well. Now, with the construction of the Kenya IST campus almost over, as you can see there, Kenya IST will embark on the grand journey of catapulting Kenya onto the path of sustainable and inclusive growth. It is my wish that on this journey, Kaist can share all the lessons learned from its own struggles to advance science and technology for national development. And I hope you all have a great time of mutual learning of best practices and sharing of insights on advancing the frontiers of science and technology through training and knowledge production. Thank you.
I'm not going to give my remarks. I'm going to give the remarks for the Principal Secretary of State Department for Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Muganda Inyangala, during the consultative engagement on the sidelines of the 41st IASP World Conference on Science Parks and Areas of Innovation held at Consa Technopolis on 24th September 2024. It is with immense pleasure and honor that I stand before you today as we gather here to deliberate on a subject of great significance, not only for our academic and research communities, but also for the future trajectory of Kenya's socioeconomic and technological advancement. I wish to inform us that gathering here during the consultative engagement on the sidelines of the 41st IASP World Conference on Science Parks and Areas of Innovation under this theme, Advancing the Frontiers of Science, Technology and Innovation through Training and Knowledge Production for Kenya's Modernization, is so timely and well thought of. This consultative engagement is a testament to our collective commitment to advancing Kenya's Vision 2030 by fostering an ecosystem that encourages the production of knowledge, innovation, and technology. We are laying the foundation for a future where Kenya becomes not just a consumer of technologies, but a producer and exporter of cutting-edge solutions tailored to our unique challenges and opportunities.
I just want to say that I'm proud and happy to see the kind of discussion that is going on here, and the fact that Kenya is setting up an Institute of Science and Technology, which I think is very critical. Across the whole continent of Africa, we have lagged behind in the area of science and technology. When I joined the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, it was at the beginning of the new dispensation, the government that is currently in office. And one of the first things that happened was His Excellency the President said, I want an education system that will help in national development. I want to see a change in the way we conduct our education. Produce young men and women that have skills, that have knowledge, that are able to hit the ground running. I'm proud to say that Africa is coming out of the shell. We are now prioritizing research and innovation, and I think we are on the right path. But the biggest challenge we have had, which I think Kenya also has, is the fact that we don't have enough human capacity to be able to do the things that we want to do. So what you are doing here today is an example. We need to build competent human capacity that will help us to unlock value out of our natural resources.
Allow me to take this opportunity to invite the chief guest of the day, Engineer John Tanui, who is here to represent the CS of ICT and IC and digital economy. Karibu sana PS.
It's really a great honor to address you today at the Kenya Kaist side event of the 41st International Association of Science Parks World Conference 2024, happening for the first time in the Republic of Kenya and the second time in Africa in its 40 years journey. I am particularly pleased to discuss the strategic partnership between the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, the Kenya Kaist, that's what we call, the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, Kaist, a world top innovation and research institute, the International Vaccine Institute, headquartered in South Korea, and the African Development Bank. The Kenya's vision for Kenya Kaist is to create a world-class institution that inspires and nurtures the next generation of scientists, engineers, and innovators by leveraging the expertise and resources of our partners. We are confident in our ability to achieve this ambitious goal. Kenya Kaist as a premier science and technology innovation research university, not only for the country, the continent, but also a global research institute. The institution will play a crucial role in driving the continent's and the country's technological advancements and economic growth, as well as shape the country's future through contributing the digital entrepreneurship ecosystem. Professor Kamasi talked about several decades ago when we established institutes, the same time Korea did. I think we have not lost. We have an opportunity through this Kenya Kaist to reshape our future as a country. This institution, which is domiciled at our ministry, Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, will ensure that we prioritize and centralize science and technology innovation programs in this university, working with our colleagues, Ministry of Education, with my colleague PS, here represented by Dr. Roslyn Award. It's a postgraduate only public university dedicated to advanced research, education, training in science, engineering, and technology. Kenya Kaist is committed to fostering a culture of innovation and research by conducting cutting-edge research, The institute can contribute to development of new technologies and solutions to pressing challenges. As a continent, we have so many challenges that need solutions. Our institutions of research and institutions of higher learning are tools and vehicles that will enable us really identify the problems and provide solutions to those challenges. This is a key project for the country. President Ruto knows about this event. He would have wished to be here, but because of important things, he was not able to come here. My minister also was not able to come here because of the United Nations General Assembly. And they are committed to ensuring that the dream and vision through Concert Technopolis under the Vision 2030 is realized.
Good morning. My name is Nadej Balima. I'm representing Madame Hendrina Doroba, who wanted to be here, but unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, she's not able to make it. So I'm just sharing some remarks on her behalf. Our students in university must be trained to become scientists and innovators. That way, universities will become incubators of innovation, as well as developers of entrepreneurs. Second, universities should set up technology incubators and innovation hubs. This will create a conducive environment to churn out and grow ideas into scientific interventions. Third, government should increase financing for research, development, and innovation to not only support the growth of scientists, but also drive the commercialization of innovation. Fourth, the private sector should be encouraged to work and locate research, technology, and innovation centers in Kenyan universities. Students should be supported to have internships in these centers. The setting up of an industrial academic collaboration system under the Kaist is a critical path towards building a community of industry, academic, government cooperation, innovation, and promotion. Fifth, Kenya needs to boost its science and innovation funding. This catalytic and targeted funding will help drive innovation for faster tech-enabled economic growth to power the Kenya of the future. Finally, we must believe in the youth. Our intervention in the higher education sector and the labor market should put the youth at the heart of all undertakings. By doing so, we will harness Kenya's youth bulge into a demographic dividend. This is what will drive the next revolution of our national socio-economic transformation deep into the future. As I conclude, allow me to state and reiterate that if we are to contribute to achieving Kenya's and Africa's inclusive growth and sustainable development, we need to identify critical transformative pathways that can lead to sustaining the progress and the achievement of the goals we have set for ourselves for the benefit of all citizens. Science, technology, and innovation is one way of doing so.
I want to say that agricultural biotechnology comes in to sort out the challenges of food production and ensure the world of secure food and ensure the world of healthy food. Why is the food becoming a challenge in the world? Simply because of global challenges, including less funding in agricultural systems, because of pests and diseases. My lecturers who taught me at University of Nairobi, I can see they are here, and I can tell you what you told me is true. We have confirmed that pests and diseases cause losses of about 74% to fruit trees, and about 54% to vegetable crops, and about 32% losses which happen to cereals, that is maize, and the other challenges.
In late 1960s, elite students of Korea went abroad for study, and Korea had serious brain drain problem. Okay, the elite students went out to study and they didn't come back. So Korea had very serious brain drain problem. At that time, Dr. Kun Mo Chung submitted an innovative proposal to make Kaist. It was 1969, and it was the Dr. Kumo Chung was 30 years old, and he proposed establishing Kaist to government, and the government accepted his proposal in 1970. So Korea government approved the project and promulgated the special law for establishment in 1970, and Kaist was established by the special law in 1971. In 1969, Dr. Jung proposed Kaist, and government accepted proposal in 1970, and Kaist was established in 1971. The Kaist right now has about 11,000 students, and the number of professors is about 700. And as I said, Kaist produced about 70,000 high-class science and technology-oriented people. And 25% of Samsung R&D is from Kaist. 25% of Samsung R&D people are from Kaist. And also 20% of all Korean engineering professors are from Kaist. Under the leadership of President Y. Kibaki, Kenya Vision 2030 started in 2008. And Kenya decided to establish a science and technology-oriented university, benchmarking Kaist. The Kenya and Kaist made a contract in 2018.
Is to think about how do we partner with all these institutions, and I think I'm very excited about being here today because the honors of making sure we can be able to connect people, but also enable institutions and support them in the technology that they need. So we look at us as enablers. We are here to support, here to guide, here to engage as much as possible. I think the couple of things that we are seeing as big challenges when it comes to adoption of technology in Kenya specifically, and if you think about it, some of our panelists mentioned it before, when it comes to infrastructure, so devices and connectivity are still a big issue in terms of being able to ensure that everyone has access to technology, right?
In coming 30 years, the Kenya-ized will exceed Korean Kaist. You may not believe it, but it can be true. It can be true. And there is a secret in the success of Kaist. Kaist was a critical player to promote the advancement of Korean industry, Korean economy, Korean technology. And the way the Kaist did was domestic survival. The Kaist never borrowed any skill set or technology from the advanced country. University of Nairobi then was ranked number 1,000. But it is still 1,000. Still 1,000. Nothing has been changed. 30 years ago, Kaist was about 1,000 in ranking. So what is lacking in your country? That is just determination.
My name is Engineer Margaret Ogai, the Registrar and CEO, Engineers Board of Kenya. So every statement that was made today, I think I was just saying, yes, this is where we are going, because we do have, as somebody said, we have trained many engineers in Kenya, 37,000 since independence, of which we have registered 25,000, and about 4,000 are professional engineers. We're in partnership with Korea as well through their Professional Engineers Association, and they have trained, or maybe even trained more,
but they have 85,000 engineers, and we have around the same population. So already that's one gap that we can see. So I want to think there's nothing wrong with the engineers. Probably retraining, retooling, yes, it might be necessary, but you have a great asset in those that are already trained in engineering.
In the 1960s, the vision of African leaders was we are an agricultural country. Industrialization was not in the agenda. It's only in 1980 when they went to Lagos and said they wanted to industrialize through Juakali. By the late 1980s, the good president Daniel Moi told the universities, you must make a car. And I supported him. I said, this is the important thing we must do. We must industrialize. Whether it is a car or a tractor, we must produce industrial materials in Kenya here. And many of my friends who were in Ford at that time are very angry with me. How can you support Moi and you are with us? I said, no, he has said the right thing. That is the right vision. In Kenya today, the professors are on strike. Why? Because of little investment in the system.
Yes, like you've heard, my name is Dr. Kagno Nyango, Director General of KIRDI, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute. Before I proceed, the institute first of all does two things. One, research in industrial related technologies. Then number two, dissemination of this knowledge. So very critical for us is how do you disseminate this knowledge? Unlike universities and other institutions, we do not teach. So it's you do the research and then you disseminate this knowledge. So those are the two things which we do. Now, one thing which we've talked about very critical here is how do we create employment? That's one of the things we're trying to look at. You heard about the Gen Z protests recently. Then how do you create wealth? And this is something we've been grappling with as a country since 1963. The first president was talking about let's fight poverty, ignorance, and disease. That's where we still find ourselves right now.
But similar sentiments came through. We went astray someplace. We should go back and find out what happens. So colleagues, Kaist, Kenya here, this Kenyaized, let us not lose this momentum. We follow it, extremely well lined up. Chair, I envy you. You have a lot of people supporting us, from Microsoft to even, in fact, KIRDI, which said there, every statement made here, and I was telling Madam Principal here, they say we can collaborate. I'm in charge of research funding in Kenya, National Research Fund. Again, we will give you money. So really, the thinking is yours. Confirm, write, make a product that we can actually see by eye.
But the future of our country, the foundation for improved quality of life for all our citizens will depend on the level that we integrate science and technology in all sectors of development. So we are saying the science, we have talked of STI, but not just for reading, not just for filing away, but it must be integrated in all sectors of our development if we want to move. And finally, what's our pledge as Kaist? We start by thanking you, but we are also pledging that as Kaist, we are committed to working with all stakeholders to produce quality research and training, and to make science and technology work for everyone.
It's about the place of social sciences. Professor Catherine Gila, who is a good friend of ours, we've been reaching out to us so that we can start working on a partnership. As it might have been mentioned, and as mentioned in the beginning of this knowledge event, we did say that we are a specialized institution, and we are specializing at the beginning with these areas of study. After 3 years, we are going to look into other areas of interest, emerging issues, emerging sciences. And that is now when we are now going to look into the possibility of bringing all these other sciences in, including the social sciences part of it. This is not just a Kenyan university. We are going to have professors. These professors that you see here from Korea are going to be part of our faculty team at the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. We are going to get many more professors from across board, from the US, from Europe, from other countries, so that we can have that exchange and transfer of knowledge and ideas from those ones who are advanced, so that we can use that to develop or build our economy. And that is why 75% of all our students will come from Kenya. Who is the president of Kenya? Is that every student who is going to study in our university must be given full scholarship.
We will recognize the people who came up and made contributions. We thank you for creating time to be with us. We've acknowledged people who visited, even those who have already left because of other commitments. We do appreciate them. There's just one group I would want to ask to stand up so that we can clap for them. The future engineers, the students who are with us. Do we still have students here? Could you please stand? Thank you very much for coming. In 20 years' time, or 30 years' time, as Professor Moon was saying, it will be you people who will be handling the mics here and making the statements. And I want to challenge all of you. You've heard the good things which are at Kaist. Be at the top of your class so that when we start selecting, you feature on that list. So we want to challenge you that you've been here, you've heard the story as we are starting. Please make a commitment. Don't wait. Make a commitment today and start looking for your way into this institution. We have lunch served back there. We want to welcome all of us to that lunch, and let's use it for networking. If you have something and you want to incubate it, and you saw somebody talking about incubation, please, as you have lunch, go and talk to them. If you had somebody saying he has money, go close to them and talk to them so that we can make use of this. And let the networking, let's not end as you go out of the gate. Let's continue. Let's take contact so that we continue talking to one another. And with those very many remarks, once again, thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, and God